In this video, I have a saying about giving a rat's ass that's kind of funny. That how can you give a rat's ass? The ass of the rat isn't yours to give, so let the rat keep his ass. Or you can pick up a rat in tandem to somebody else's ass first, and yes, you're giving a rat's ass. And if the other person wants to accept the rat ass first, to give a rat's ass, you're sort of offering up the rat's ass, and it's up to the other person if he wants to accept. So I'll have another saying too, that in some certain things, that if a rat's ass should really be offered or even given about a particular subject. So that's what I say about tolerance to a certain thing. You can say sometimes you give a shit. There's some and I also have a thing where I say there's certain aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck. It's not that I don't give a shit or give a fuck. It's there's some aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck that I don't give a shit or a fuck about. And at any given time, when and where should a rat's ass be given, or a fuck be given, or a shit be given, or even offered? You know what I mean? For all of yins guys that are fans of Pat Condell from the very beginning, here's something I bet you didn't know. This was years ago when I was on YouTube. I used to listen on FM radio to a guy named Jim Quinn, who used to be a Pittsburgh radio personality, who later on became, instead of a DJ, later on after being a DJ, he became the other Rush Limbaugh, and I used to listen to him when I worked in factories. And he mentioned Pat Condell's name and glorified him in one of his talks. So he become pretty famous around here. He was mentioned by a radio talk show host that I happen to know real well, that used to be all over FM radio. So yes, he was indeed mentioned. So whether he's on YouTube or not, whether you like him or not, he did get some public attention that way, that he got a mention. I remember it very well. Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video. And this video, once again, like I said in other videos, for me, I admit that I have to retake starting to make a video because a certain subject matter makes me want to laugh my ass off. And I literally, this is another one of those which I really should put maybe in the end of video like I'm making now, outtakes where I'm busting out laughing trying to talk about this. Because, yeah, I should show you some outtakes sometimes, because this subject matter and this particular YouTuber too, which this is a video about being against censorship, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this, I'm going to go on with the subject matter anyway, but this is one of the things where if I show you outtakes that I'd be starting to make the video and bust out laughing. I should really put at the end of the video outtakes of me busting out laughing when I start talking about the video, because I think it's so fucking funny. It's such a big fucking joke. People don't know that censorship does not work. It just makes people stronger, which the subject matter in this video is to the fans of YouTuber Pat Condell and that British guy who I've been following for years. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna okay, I'm gonna get to the reasons why I am making this video too. Yeah, if there's any of his haters here, yes, I'm one of those people. I'll direct it to the haters too. And not to give you too much of a story on my life, I followed an era in YouTube, and I was there. I didn't get no huge amount of videos, but I was there back in the days of YouTube. PAT CONDELL, people like The Amazing Atheist and Styx Hexenhammer 666 were getting huge on YouTube, and I was that guy who was making long-winded comments. You know how you're trolling, but you're trolling for a good thing too, not just trying to get attention for the haters and likers. Did I want to get a message? I don't give a fuck what people think. I want to get a message across one way or another. You know what I mean? And the reason why I bring up some of these other guys too. I'm not significant enough for anybody to try to ban me. And if anybody does, come on, go ahead. I don't give a fuck. Say if I'm not on YouTube anymore, I'll be somewhere else. And matter of fact, in Pat Condell's case too, you can bet when they have videos of his removed, I'm one of them many guys with an attitude problem who will take it upon himself to put copies of certain people's videos, whether the ones you like and the ones you hate, out there to scrutinize. And one of the ones you'll never see on YouTube, but you show it around. And some people that are making impact in the world. So whether I'm on YouTube or not, I'm definitely showing these videos to other people. Like in Pat Condell's case, I'm getting to it. Okay, so alright, on with it. I followed one of his last videos where he's talking about, he's telling all his fans that he's going on all these other platforms now, which I believe he's telling the truth. He get tired of getting the video taken down and all that. But I still think that, just like I tell other YouTubers that say this, they should keep themselves on YouTube anyway, even if they don't outright say certain things. Don't give the haters what they want. Put it this way. But yeah, there was a YouTube video he did called OK Groomer, which, yeah, I seen the whole thing. I seen it on YouTube and I seen it on other platforms. Censorship doesn't work. That's why I'm laughing at these people. And I've preached this time and time again. I think that's why a lot of these other people don't even mess with me on here. I mean, because I have a saying that I repeatedly say, and I use it as an introduction to certain videos, which reflects and projects my attitude toward anybody with another affectional preference or who they identify as. I say, it's the perfect philosophy. I says about giving a rat's ass, whether a rat's ass should be offered or even given. When I say this, that means, well, when you're offering up the rat's ass, you're trying to play ball with these people and try to be polite and nice rather than be totally blunt all at once, right? And if they're nice to you, you're nice to them. And I believe in somebody wants to identify as whatever the fuck they identify as or whatever. Don't force it down my throat. It's like there's certain aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck or giving a rat's ass that you don't have to give a rat's ass about. But you're willing to be nice to certain people. But if they force it down your throat, then you decide whether a rat's ass should be given, offered, or even given. You're offering up the rat's ass before you give a rat's ass because you'd be as nice as possible. And yeah, you do that with other races. There's people that of other races that have a couple different attitudes, and you do this so that you can't be accused of this and that. Then later, and if it's not good enough for them, then you can go, see, I try to be nice. Hey, who's the real asshole here? But anyway, yeah, I'm trying to give you a rough idea, you know, even though I'm talking more of my opinions more than Pat Condell. I'm getting to it. And I don't give a fuck who sees this. There's a lot of people that know me that see this, that they know damn well what I'm talking about, what my point is. But Yeah, he does a video called OK Groomer, and he's talking about how it gets taken down. Well, again, like I said, if somebody wants to have something taken down, what does that do? They must be afraid of something. And you get a culture, I'm not saying they're all like that. I still try to grace people with the idea that they're not all like that. But yet, when you get somebody having a video taken down just because they said something, oh, yeah, one marginalized group that says they're marginalized is right and call everybody phobic, but then when they want to censor somebody, who's really phobic? Who's really the phobic one here? And even Pat Condell may not be thinking that they're all like that, you know what I mean, too. But the ones that are like that must be offended, because there is people like that, like he's describing, and the truth hurts. Even though you're not trying to imply they're all like that, but the ones that are like that, they want to force it down everybody else's throat. But the reason why I'm saying this too, here's a point while it's on my mind, whether you think I'm jumping subjects or not. Yes, this is about my attitude problem too, and I'm trying to get my point in here is whether you censor him or censor anybody, these people that think that the whole world revolves around them and they think they can censor people or whatever. It's like I said about certain people that say, oh, you must be on the side of Donald Trump and wear a MAGA hat, right? Just because you don't participate in, or you live your life and do your own thing. You can live your life and do your own thing and not participate in somebody else's bullshit or take any part of your personal life to coddle anybody else, and then you're already accused of wearing a MAGA hat, whether they even ask you if you like Trump or not, right? And I always am the one to laugh and I'm always the one to laugh and encourage others to laugh and say, yeah, right. Everybody that doesn't have your fucking views, you think they wear a MAGA hat and they're fucking conservatives, you know what I mean? Or whatever the hell. I say to them, it's like, hey, a MAGA hat, all that does is show everybody people can hide behind that, and people can hide behind the rainbow too, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, MAGA hat, yeah, right. For my personal opinion, and I regard this as fact, is there's people more dangerous to these radicals' way of life. There's things more dangerous than that, than the MAGA hat. The MAGA hat ain't shit in my book. It's not the MAGA hat these people have to worry about. It's people like me and a lot of other people outside of YouTube that have an attitude problem. Those are bigger in number than a MAGA hat. So consider this, I don't want to, you can consider it a warning, a threat, or a flaunting of something, whatever the fuck you want to take it. I don't really give a shit. But I'm trying to make my point. Yeah, throwing Trump in people, Donald Trump in people's faces. I laughed my ass off at that one too. I mean, I don't care what anybody wants to identify as, and what people do as consenting adults, you know. And I'm keeping this about censorship too, even though I'm trying. I put Pat Condell in this, but this has a lot to do with, even though I'm talking more about my personal views than Pat Condell. But my point tying this up with Pat Condell is that whether you accuse everybody, oh, throw the MAGA hat in people's face, or anybody else that you don't like, tolerance is never enough for these people. And yeah, you got to deal with a lot of us higher in number than the MAGA hat that have an attitude problem. The MAGA hat is small potatoes compared to some of us that are out there. I regard myself, that even though I don't have as many views as Sticks Hexenhammer 666, but I'm a rather different and unique version of him that really will do more damage to these people in the world than him. Yes, I spitefully share his shit around because of his political views. Yeah. puts a smile on my face. And the same thing that puts a smile on my face is sharing particular black YouTubers, because my motto is, somebody tries to say you're racist. No, being racist or Aryan Nation or Ku Klux Klan racist is not as much fun as sharing black YouTubers and people that people don't allow you to listen to, which reflects my thing in the world. You had both black and two different types of people of another race. Some that fuck with you, you want to spite them, and had friends. If you have a balance of that, you're not going to be into that Aryan Nations racism. But you know, I don't want to digress and go too far about that too. But to show you what the kind of person I am, and if you want to get this far in this video and say this is, oh yeah, this is all about you, yeah, yes, it's all about me and anybody else. It should be about you too, that has the same attitude problem that I have. Let's see what else. Yeah, I'm just trying not to laugh here talking about it, but why I'm taking a pause here. But okay, one more main point before I end this video too, is telling people to educate themselves. My point is in schools. Yes, I agree with Pat Condell and a lot of other conservative black YouTubers too, that they're putting shit in libraries and school that's borderline pornography or outright pornography. And I do not think you need anybody educating you in no public school about these other affectional preferences. All you really need is, if somebody is gay or whatever the hell they are or identify as, common sense should be taught. Don't beat anybody up or threaten to murder them because of who they identify as or their affectional preference. That should be taught. That should be good enough. Don't do nothing against the law. And nothing else needs to be forced on anybody's kids. And matter of fact, if you get this far in this video, whether I'm on YouTube or not, I put it this way, I promise you that I'm very active in telling kids the right to walk out of school for these classes, to reject this type of education. Anything beyond telling kids to not do things against the law to somebody who might be gay or identify as some other shit, if they have any classes in these public schools that are teaching any of this garbage, I'm a big advocate in having kids get together and having the right to walk out of the school, refuse to go to the class, or any teacher that happens to have another affectional preference outside of their job or whatever the hell, that's their business. But if they try to use their job to force it on other kids or whatever, or flaunt it at them, or require them to have these teachings, you have a right to heckle it, ask extra questions, or walk the fuck out. You have the kids have the right to reject this education, and it's going to be taught by these parents. I'm one of the people that make damn sure out in the world to advocate it. So yeah, what's anybody going to fucking do? Just get them kicked off of YouTube? Yeah, go ahead. It's like, but anyway, that is what I advocate. Anything beyond teaching common sense, just don't do anything against anybody that's against the law. Anything else is just complete bullshit. And you're not... Okay, the one more motto before I leave this video. This is the most important, you know, before I forget, because I'm too busy in my own mind laughing my ass off and making pauses. And this is a big thing. I say this a lot too, just like the giving a rat's ass in certain aspects of giving a rat's ass. There's another one for you. You're not I don't believe in taking any time in my personal life to persecute anybody for their affectional preference or what they identify as, but I don't believe in intentionally teaching it to kids too young to decide or consent to anything either. And I don't believe that anybody should try to force, demand, or dictate me or anybody's kids to take any time out of their personal life to coddle anybody or be obedient to anybody else's ideology either. The reason why I support PAT CONDELL and certain others is that when you see that a particular group is forcing its beliefs on somebody, requiring you to be educated by their beliefs and requiring and forcing on you, that's quite obvious to what they're trying to do. And what I'm getting at also here too is the big red flag for some of these people too. Yeah, who's really the phobic ones, right? When they say you have to believe in all their shit and turn it into a curriculum in schools. Yeah, they want to be proud of who they identify as, whatever gender they identify as. If they want to be proud of that, or they want to be proud of any other affectional preference other than heterosexual, that's their business. But when they decide to forbid me or anybody else from being proud of our biological gender, then that's when we do this. See what I mean? Personally, I don't give a fuck. You want to identify as whatever you want to identify as. If you're old enough or whatever the hell, should not be forced in the public school on anybody. You have another affectional preference, that's their business. And if you want to be proud, they want to be proud of who they are, no problem with that. But if they want to decide, just because they're getting all this other social and political power, they want to forbid, if they're going to forbid me for being proud of my biological gender, then basically they can go fuck yourselves. That's what I'm getting at. It, like I said, before I leave this video, it only becomes a problem when they decided to forbid me from being proud of my biological gender. If they have a problem with that, then I have a problem with them. Other than that, like I said, I'll say one more time, I do not believe, I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of other people too that have the same attitude problem as too. I ain't gonna waste any part of my personal life to persecute any of them, but I'm not obligated or required to take any time out of my personal life to coddle them either. Nor do they have any right to dictate or demand that I coddle them or support them politically under any kind of threat that I'm some kind of phobe. Like I said, who is the real phobe when they decide to censor somebody else, right? Just a little video to get some digs in, and for some people who know me, I think I'm being pretty fair. And I regard this as a very short video because there's a lot more aspects of my belief. This could be a long-ass video, but yeah, anyway, the Blue Jays are out there making noises in the background again. I think time to end this video here. They probably want fed again.